Transcendence Tier 6. I said I was going to maybe try this Auron solo, and it ended up working out. Realistically, I probably didn't play it as well as I could have, but it's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, you want to just keep that LD buff on. Never let that wear off or you're going to die. Yeah, they kind of just delay the hell out of you, and you take advantage with counters. And that's basically the entire fight. You know, try to keep your melee resist down up as much as you can, but it's not going to be up for the whole fight. These guys take too many turns, they delay you too much, they turn jump too much. It's going to wear off. But try to reapply it as much as you can without running out of skills. I think I did end up running out towards the end. Another thing is, I only brought the Aroha call because I kind of figured that having a debuff call wouldn't really help much because they're going to just burn right through it. So I figured I'd do something that would buff Auron as opposed to debuff these guys. If I had the Kate Sith call, I absolutely would have used that instead, but I don't. So I use this. So those with the Kate Sith call who want to attempt this, just use that instead. You'll do a little bit more damage. This did take way too long, like 44 minutes long. So keep that in mind if you're going to do this. It takes a while. Again, some time probably could have been shaved off, but I don't think I played it that well, but it's okay. The deed's done. You're going to want a Ferris Sphere or even an RF Sphere is fine to combat this orb. It's poison sap, of course. And this is their, I was going to say this is how they're selling Caius, but that's not true. The middle gate is how they're selling Caius. Okay, this middle gate is bullshit. I'm just going to say it. I hated this middle gate. And I don't want to hear any stupid takes about how, is it because you can't no boss turn and launch and No, that's not it. My problem with it is how heavily they are trying to sell you something that you actively try to avoid in every other situation. And that something is too many debuffs. The first wave, you have to inflict 8 debuffs in one turn, but, you know, it's 4 on each target. But even still, that's a lot. Second wave, if the enemies don't have 7 or more debuffs, they will turn jump with every action you take. 7 or more debuffs. So it's not even like they're really going towards Caius's mechanics and what he actually does. It's just, hey guys, bring too many debuffs, which I just don't think is a good way to have a fight. I just really don't. I think that, yeah, I think, like I said, it seems like they're actively trying to sell you something that normally you wouldn't want, which is, I don't like that. That's kind of scummy to me. But you don't need Caius to do it. I imagine he does make it easier, but I also imagine the stage still sucks even with him. You know, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself though, because that's later on. But realistically, I think that is the most worthwhile thing to talk about is the middle gate, because honestly, the left and the right gates really aren't so bad on this. Poor Golbez though, my god. I mean, they went so hard selling Caius this time, and for basically nothing for Golbez. Think about the last Transcendence we had. We had the left gate, which was, that orb was trap damage, basically. That was their showcasing of Ace, which made sense. And then on the right, it was Elemental Imperil, but the stage was immune to Elemental Imperil. So that's how they were selling Bart's. But it kind of made sense because at least Ace and Bart's were both the featured burst characters. With this one, it's like you got Caius and Golbez. They went way too hard in favor of Caius to a point where, again, it's not even about Caius's mechanics. It's just about this guy has a lot of debuffs. Like, that's basically it as far as the requirements. And as far as pushing Golbez, they made this stage right here a black crystal requirement. That's it. Nothing else about this has anything to do with Golbez. So I thought that was a little off balance there. They could have balanced that a little better. I gave Auron some spheres in preparation for this, but I doubt he really needed them aside from the help he's getting from the Ferris sphere. I just gave him the normal Ferris sphere. I didn't do the RF. I just gave him the good one. I don't really see using that for other situations, but I'm sure someone will correct me about how great it is down the line for something else. That's something I haven't researched. Who knows? I don't know. But I figure, whatever. I'll just give him the good one. And then I gave him Core's sphere and Gao's sphere. Gao's sphere is 10% brave damage up when you have full health, and Auron is constantly healing himself, so I figure he'd be taking advantage of that quite a lot. And Core's is, it adds up to a total of 15% physical attack up. It's one of those, it's like 5%, it's like 3% 5 times or whatever. No, I don't, my math is wrong. I think it's 15%. I gotta look now. I don't even remember what it is. I'm pretty sure it's 15%. Again, there really isn't much to say about this. As far as Transcendence solos go, I mean, I've only done one other Transcendence solo, and that was Garland on the left Crucible for Tier 2. And that one was a lot more specific. Like, every move you made mattered. Like, you had to sit there and count, and then you had to count the enemy's actions. Well, not their actions. You had to count your amount of actions to determine when the wolf was going to bring his ads back. But with this, there's none of that. It's just keep the buff up, watch your skills, and just watch the counters come at you. That's basically it. There's not much to this one. So I would recommend, I mean, if you're a person who A, likes solos, or B, just wants to save characters down the line, especially if your roster's sparse, this is probably a good place to drop off Auron. However, I did hear that apparently Auron can solo tier 9, like, yeah, I don't know if it's middle gate or what, but I heard he can solo tier 9, but I think that's Crystal 90 Auron. I don't think it's the Auron we have now that can do that. But I figured I'd just use them now, especially since I'm not pulling for Caius or anything like that. I did get Selfie though. I got her LD. I didn't even have to touch my gems. I just used tickets, so that was cool. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun with her. She seems like she's a lot of fun. I like that Wall does not use turns anymore for skill 2. Because I know it used to. But now it's like instant turn rate and doesn't use a turn. I think I said it doesn't use skills. You know what I'm trying to say. It doesn't add to the turn count. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, also, yeah, Odin Summon. I figured just the extra brave damage output would be helpful. Not sure if it was needed, but I figured it was, it just made the most sense to me. The turn count here, I believe, is 55, which is kind of low, but this one doesn't seem that bad, especially if you have Auron with you. Obviously, I mean, way to state the obvious, given what we're watching right now. Oh, I might as well mention this now since we're getting kind of towards the end of this. At the very end of this video, do not do what I did. I almost completely killed this run by the end. Because I decided, they end up getting really low health. And then I'm like, okay, I can just summon and kill them. But I didn't factor in the fact that I'm rocking an Auron who is out of skills with no one here to support him. So I'm just hacking away at the tankiest 1% ever, and it's just not dying. And as I'm doing that, my LD buff is wearing off. So it got to a point where if I wouldn't have killed him when I did, he would have killed us. But if I would have just not summoned and just kind of hung out and kept this going, I would have been a lot safer. I just got greedy, and it almost bit me in the ass, but luckily it worked out. You'll see what I do towards the end. Like, I'll summon and just try to go at it, but honestly, you might be better off just not even summoning. Seriously. especially if he's got that buff on. Like, there's no need. Or if you're gonna summon, maybe do it like in the middle, and then yeah, I would maybe, if you're gonna summon, you don't have to with this, you really don't, but if you're going to summon, if you feel so inclined, I would recommend waiting until Auron's LD buff wears off, then go into the summon, then do what you gotta do in there to get some damage in, and then refresh it before they start attacking again, so that way you can get some damage off and then everything will be refreshed back to full. I'm not sure if I should have been utilizing Auron's EX or not, but like maybe it would have been alright for damage output, but then again, it would have delayed them, and you kind of don't want to delay them. You want them to delay you. So I didn't really press it. I kind of just let them do their thing, because they're helping me out. Like, they keep hitting me, but I'm just healing it right back. Auron has last stand, so it's not like there's much to worry about. I want to say it was, if I'm remembering correctly, 43 turns we got this done. Which, you look at that and it seems like, oh, that's not that far away, but it takes a while for Auron to take turns, because they just kind of, you know, they keep doing their thing. Definitely went through the skills rather quickly. I tried to kind of space it out, but I kind of got greedy. Again, this one didn't really require research. Again, like a lot of the other ones are so planned out and so meticulous, and do this certain thing at this certain time because otherwise this will happen, and there's all these moving parts that you got to keep track of. But with this one, it's kind of like that, but barely. Like, much less so than other solos I've either seen or done. I'm sure that's self-explanatory just watching this. I know it's going by quickly, but there isn't much to really like expand upon other than what I've already mentioned. He gets broken a lot. a lot. Like 30-something times. I was worried, like, were the amount of breaks gonna drop my score underneath the required amount, but it didn't. Luckily. One thing, I tended to focus this turtle a lot more than the Kraken there. 'Cause it seemed like, I don't know if he has more health, or maybe it was just the way that I went about it, where he ended up just left with more health. I don't know if he has more HP overall, but it just seemed like he wasn't dying as fast as the Kraken was, so I figured, alright, I'll just focus him to try to keep it even. Because if I would have been focusing this Kraken at this point, it would have been really weird. Oh yeah, needless to say, if you're going to do this, don't kill them one at a time. If you're going to do any fight, don't kill them one at a time. I'm so sick of that question. I'm so sick of that question. Ah. Yeah, my damage is definitely dropping, for sure. Okay, Kraken should die any second now. Almost there. Come on now. See, they just go and go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah, see, I'm just kind of spamming HP attacks. See, this right here, I should not have done this. Because look, I'm just hacking away. I have 2 turns left on the LD buff, and now just 1. So I get a delay, and then, oh my god, thank god. If that didn't kill, I would have been dead. But it worked out. Right, Crucible next. Thank you for watching.